One of my favourite sauces, aioli. So I do think a lot of aioli that you get in restaurants these days is a bit of a travesty of what aioli should taste like, because people generally don't like as much garlic as is in a traditional aioli. But I love the garlic in there. It's got to be almost hot, there's so much garlic. So, first of all, I've got 4 really decent cloves of garlic here. Now I'm going to show you just how to puree garlic if you haven't got any sort of machine to do it. And I do think this is probably the best way. So I'm just chopping it up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is just pour a bit of salt over the top, like that, and then mash it with the side of a knife. As you can see, I'm going to make here about 200 grams, 175 mils really of aioli. So there's a lot of garlic going into it. There we go, just doing a nice mash. Now then, what I use aioli for, well basically, the one that I'm particularly fond of, probably my favourite fish stew of all, is burride. But any sort of Spanish fish and rice dish, even paella, I just find is much improved by the judicious addition of aioli, or as the Spanish call it, alioli. So there's the garlic gone into my bowl. Now I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible for you. So I'm going to use a hand mixer, not a whisk, electric mixer, just to make it a bit easier. So 1 egg yolk, and I've got about 175 millilitres of olive oil and sunflower oil. In fact, there's 2 parts sunflower oil to 1 part extra virgin olive oil. And the reason I've done that is actually if you make aioli completely with extra virgin oil, it's just a little bit too bitter, a little bit overpowering. So let's get started with my mixer. And you know, I could be using a sort of mortar and pestle. I suppose that's traditionally what they use to make aioli, but I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible at home to make this dish. Just make sure when you're doing aioli that everything you use is at room temperature. If you don't, you'll find it's very easy to split your mayonnaise, which is essentially what an aioli is. I'm just going to now try to add a little oil, but only a little oil to start with. The whole success in an aioli is building it up gradually. See, I'm very, very carefully looking at it to make sure there's no signs of the mixture splitting. That just means the oil separates from the only liquid here at the moment is just a bit of moisture in the garlic. There we go, it's coming on very nicely. As you can see, it's building up this nice unctuous looking sauce. The great thing I think about aioli like this is it needs to be really nice and thick, which this is. So now I've got everything happening successfully, I can add my oil a bit faster. It is getting a bit too thick now, so I'm just going to add a bit of lemon juice. I'm looking for about a tablespoon. There we go. There it is, beautifully thick. So now we'll just get a teaspoon and try a little bit of that, see what we need to add. Crikey. There's enough lemon juice in there, but I definitely about, I don't know, half a teaspoon of salt, something like that. Whoopee. I don't know if like you, I just love garlic, and particularly in this, it just, you know, some foods are really sort of, some dishes are really exciting, and I must have made, you know, hundreds of aiolis, but every time I taste it, there's something really special about a very garlicky, olive oily sauce. And it does have to have that heat, that power which this one has. Aioli.